Hello Booktube, it's Eleanor here, and today it's time for my February TBR. As last month, I will be following on the categories that I mentioned, so we'll talk about those in a minute. I'll also be doing buddy reads, reading some of the review copies that I have received this month, and also this month I'm doing something a little bit extra. I was going through all my various places that I get TV and film, so I have iTunes, Netflix, Amazon Instant, and Sky Go, and so I was going through all of the sort of watch lists that I have on there, and I've got quite a few films that I want to watch, and a lot of those films are adaptations of books that I haven't read but are on my shelf. So I'm going to call this Film February, and I've picked I think 6 books that I'm going to read and then watch the film and then discuss with you my thoughts on both. So hopefully that will be a little bit of fun. So let's talk about those first. Some of these are actually books that I've already read, so I will just be discussing with you about my thoughts on whether the film was any good. So the first film I'm going to watch is Horns, which is by Joe Hill, or the book was by Joe Hill. I read the book last year and it was okay. It wasn't my favourite book, but it was okay. I've had the film on my watch list for ages, so I'm going to watch the film with Daniel Radcliffe in and see what I think of it. Next is another book that I've already read, and that is Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. I really enjoyed this graphic memoir, and I bought the sort of film adaptation, which is like an animated film, and I've wanted to watch it for ages and I've never got round to it, so I'm going to be watching that this month. You may remember that I read a lot of Sarah Waters' books last year, and one of them, the first one I read, which I really enjoyed and is probably my favourite so far of her books, is Fingersmith, and I bought the adaptation of this, which I think is a 2 or 3 part series, and so I want to watch that. I've got it to watch and I will discuss with you when I've seen it what I think of it compared to the book. And then for the 3 books which I need to read and then watch the film. The first book is The Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. I really want to watch the film of this, and so I will be reading the book this month and then watching the film and discussing with you. Next up is 12 Years a Slave by Solomon Northup. This is a Collins Classic edition. This has been out for quite a while. I've wanted to read it. It's not particularly huge, so I'm going to be reading this and then watching the film. This book is set in 1841. It's about a man who is a successful violinist who is kidnapped and sold into slavery, and it's his story, and I'm really excited to read this. It's a true story. I think it's going to be quite a hard read and an emotional read, and I've heard that the film is very emotional too, so this is sort of the hard-hitting one for me this month. And then the final book, movie adaptation that I want to read and watch, is on my Kindle, and that is Paper Towns by John Green. I hear mixed things about this. Some people really enjoy the book and film, some people really hate the book and film. I'm going to see which side of the fence that I fall on. I've had Paper Towns on my Kindle for a while, so I'm going to read Paper Towns and then I'm going to watch the film. Next up is the buddy reads that I'm going to be doing this month. The first buddy read I'm really excited about. This book has been on my Kindle for probably, I don't want to say 3 years, but it's possible it could be even more than that, and that is The Last Werewolf by Glenn Duncan. I'm going to be reading this with the lovely Olive from the Book Olive, and I can't wait to get stuck into this finally. This book is a paranormal book, I believe. It's an adult paranormal story about the last werewolf. All of the other werewolves have been killed off or died off, and he's the final one, and it's about his story. I think it's going to be fun, fast, action-packed, and I've heard great things. I just don't know why I've never got to it, so I'm looking forward to finally getting to this. Next up, I'm reading a book with Joss at Scribbles Reads, and we're going to be reading Black Iris by Leah Rader together. I've never read any of her books before. Joss, I believe, has read Unteachable by her, but I haven't read any, and I'm going to be starting with this one. This is a new adult story, I believe. It's about bullying and being who you are and growing up, and I've heard great things about Leah Ryder's writing style, so I'm excited to give this one a go. Another buddy read with Stephanie from Time to Read. This is an ARC copy which I picked up at a charity shop, but it's Did You Ever Have a Family by Bill Clegg. I believe this, this was up for the Man Booker Prize last year. It's a story about a woman who, the night before her daughter's wedding, there is a fire and both her ex-husband, her daughter's fiance, her daughter and her boyfriend all die in a house fire, and it's the story of her coping and the aftermath of that. I'm next reading In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware with a subscriber called, I think it's He Died and Waited. He Died and Waited. Anyway, we are going to be reading this book together. I picked this up at the Penguin Christmas event and it sounded interesting. It's about a girl. She was sort of friends in a large friendship group. She hasn't seen them for 10 years. She's invited out of the blue to one of the friends' hen do's, and there may be sort of a murder involved. It sounds dark and psychological and interesting. And the final buddy read this month is going to be with Vanessa from channel Vanessa Butino and Nicole from Dorker Brain, and we're going to be reading 12 Kings by Bradley Bewley. I'm rubbish at names, I'm sorry. This is a bit of a whopper. It's a adult fantasy and I can't wait to dive in. I don't know an awful lot about it. I think it involves a female assassin trying to uncover the mysteries and secrets buried in the sand. So yeah, sounds like a fun, fast read. My main review copy that I want to get through this month is The Hour of the Bees by Lindsay Eager. This was sent to me by the publisher and comes out in March 2016. It's a YA book about a girl who ends up having to move in the summer holidays with her grandfather, I believe in New Mexico near the desert. It's about her getting to know her grandfather, the mysteries surrounding him. I believe there's some magic in there somewhere. So yeah, I don't know much about this, but I am intrigued to give it a go and find out more this month. So in terms of the challenges that I'm setting myself each month, I'm trying to get through a series, a trilogy or a duology off my shelves every month. And this month I'm going to be reading The Jewel by Amy Ewing, and then the seconds in the series, which is White Rose by Amy Ewing. I'm not sure if this is a duology or is going to be a trilogy, but these are the only two books out at the moment. I was kindly sent the second book, White Rose, by the publisher, and so I want to read both of these this month and see how I feel. I believe it's been sort of talked about as if it's a little bit like Handmaid's Tale, where girls are kept in order to sort of breed and give babies to the upper class. But I don't know much more than that, and I'm quite happy going in a little bit blind, so I'm excited to give these ones a go. Doubling up with some of the challenges, or there would be no way I would get through all these books. The book that I'm scared of this month is going to be The Cloud Atlas. David Mitchell's writing always makes me a bit nervous. This is the one of his books that people always say is a little bit nerve-wracking and difficult to get through, so I'm going to give this one a go this month. This month's non-fiction pick is The Marshmallow Test by Walter Mischel. This is about the iconic marshmallow test, where children were given a marshmallow and told they could eat it, but if they did, that would be it. If they left it for a number of minutes, they would then be given 2 marshmallows. It's a book looking at willpower and self-control and how to master it. It's taking that marshmallow test and then showing you how to use some of the findings of this test and future tests in everyday life. I need to use this for my eating. I am a constant fluctuator in weight. I go up and down weight, a larger and smaller since I was a child, and I really want to try and master self-control and just not, my problem seems to be portion control and binging, so I want to try and master that a little bit, and I'm hoping this book will give me some tips on helping me do that. My 2 science fiction and fantasy books this month are going to be The Last Werewolf and 12 Kings, which were 2 of my buddy reads. My 2 contemporaries are going to be Black Iris and also Tech Bitch by Lucy Sykes and Joe Piazza. This is an adult contemporary, and it is about a editor-in-chief of a glossy magazine. She returns from a sabbatical, but her 26-year-old former assistant has sort of moved with the times a bit and has started using a lot more social media and really changing the magazine up. She's not happy about this. She wants to make sure that she still has a place in this company and in this world, and it's about her sort of fight to get control back of the magazine, which she edits. My 2 YA books are going to be Paper Towns and then Girl Online on Tour by Zoe Sugg. This is the second book in this series, written by Zoe Sugg with a ghostwriter, and I really enjoyed the first one. There was a lot of controversy because Zoe didn't actually write it completely herself. She had a ghostwriter help her, but in terms of the story, it's a YA contemporary romance. It was an easy read. I quite enjoyed it, and so I picked up the second one to give a go to. The 2 adult books I'm going to be reading this month are In a Dark, Dark Wood and Did You Ever Have a Family? My Kindle books, I have The Last Werewolf on Kindle. I also want to try and get through some of my NetGalley books, which I still haven't finished, which need to be done. I need to get up to date with those, so any chance I get, I'm going to be reading Kindle book. And then finally, my Booktuber recommends for this month. This month's book is Jellicoe Road by Melina Marchetta. This was recommended to me by the wonderful Michelle at Fluttering Butterflies. I've never read any Melina Marchetta. I'm really excited to give this one a go. I believe this is a YA contemporary coming of age story, and I'm looking forward to trying this one out and seeing what I think. This may sound like a lot of books, but I think it works out at about 15, and on average I tend to read about 20 to 30 books a month, so this should be doable, and I'm really excited to give all of these a go. I'm liking having a varied TBR to pick from every month. It seems to be working so far, so I'm hoping I'll be able to continue it on. I'm excited to mix it up a bit and to get through some of the films that I wanted to watch, so I'm looking forward to reading those books and watching the films and letting you know my thoughts on both. And I look forward to hearing what you guys are planning on reading in February, and I will speak to you soon. Bye for now, Booktube.